Hey everybody, Michael Snyder, Pacific Northwest Weather Watch. Today is November 14th, and right now we're looking at the infrared satellite imagery. You got Alaska, BC, Washington, Oregon there. You can see the low pressure system off the coast of California. It's going to be spinning there for a few days. We do have a weak system kind of sliding down the coastline. Could bring some precipitation mainly to eastern zones. Then we have a stronger system potentially coming on in here as we go through the weekend. We'll take a look at that in some detail. Still some big model disagreement. Pretty typical in that time range here. It's only Tuesday after all, but let's go ahead and dive into the channel here. Looks like we passed 54,000 subscribers. Thanks for everybody for clicking like and subscribing, coming back and viewing each day. Much appreciated. Thank you guys very much. And if you guys want a nice affordable home weather station, click on that link down below to save 10% off. Great smartphone app, all solar powered and wireless. Great lightning detection system with this weather station also. And we've got fog this morning out there. You probably noticed some clear skies in some locations also, and there's actually some freezing fog. A pretty nice coating of frost out there around my house anyway, but you can see this is for eastern Washington, and this does go for some of western Washington, some of Oregon, and some of the valleys into BC here as well. And this will continue on here for the next few days, maybe on into the end of the week here also before the next system starts to arrive. And here we are looking at this is an infrared satellite imagery that kind of shows the fog in the lower elevations. You kind of see it bubbling around some of southwest BC and across western Washington, some of the Willamette Valley, eastern Washington also. So yeah, you can see that fog moving around. And some of the models trying to pick that up as well. This is the NAM 3 cam. This is a high resolution model. And this kind of shows you the visibility in miles. So you can kind of see that fog bumping around out there. That's what the NAM is trying to do, the North American model, trying to predict where that fog is. And as we go on into tonight and tomorrow morning, it looks like the fog coming in maybe a little bit more stern there across some of western Washington, eastern Washington there. So just a heads up for that. Watch out, slow down, use your low beams. You guys know the drill. Going into Thursday morning there, look at that. Some pretty good fog activity as well. And we've got some light offshore winds here for the next few days in advance of the next system, which we'll go over in a minute. This is the NAM 3 cam apparent temperature. And as we go through the day today, you notice we warm up, but still it's pretty brisk out there. And yeah, I mean, it's pretty chilly, but the sun is going to feel quite nice across a lot of the area, especially, the ones that aren't underneath some of these high clouds over the next few days from that system moving up from California. It's going to try to bring some clouds into the region here. But you can see some of the chilly overnight lows here. Look at it Thursday morning here. Watch out for that black ice out there. Maybe some freezing fog here over the next few days. Keep that in the back of your mind. Now, taking a look at what's upcoming here, you got the European on the left versus itself on the right, the 060 last night's run versus yesterday afternoon's run. And you can kind of see this 6-hour precipitation here. And you see the low pressure center there off the coast of California. Weak system slides down across the area. And you can see it kick up a little bit of light precip across western Washington, Oregon. Doesn't get everybody and brings some better dynamics off across the Idaho Panhandle and western Montana before that pushes off to the east. Then another little break there, some foggy mornings, chilly overnight lows. And then the next system starts to arrive as we go through this weekend here. And the European last night actually trended a little bit stronger with this storm. Could bring a little interesting punch here. The GFS does not agree with the European, however. So we're looking to get some model run-to-run consistency here and and consistency between the models, I should say. But you can see that system move through as we go on into late Sunday night into Monday morning. Now, looking at the GFS, this is hot off the press. It's the 12Z run. Let me update that so we have the most recent data. You can see you got Washington here. There's Alaska. And there's that low, just off the coastline of California, I should say. And as we go on in through this week, again, some foggy conditions, some light offshore winds. And then the system on the GFS, you can see, is much further north and much weaker versus the European. So that's kind of concerning there. We don't have much model agreement going on in through the end of the week here in towards the weekend. Looking at the Canadian model, something interesting here that I want to just point out. You can see kind of these light winds and foggy weather here. And then the system kind of moves in towards Vancouver Island here. You can kind of see that low pressure center there. So a little bit better looking system there on the Canadian model and kind of a decent pressure rise behind it. So we could be in for a blustery period here on the day Sunday, as well as some rainfall across much of the Pacific Northwest. Now looking at the GFS, this is last night's run. In fact, let's just update this and get the most recent data here on the 12Z run as we speak. And let's put this into motion here. So I have not looked at this one yet. Last night's solution was pretty rainy here for the weekend for the Pacific Northwest. So you can see the low spinning off the coastline for California. And this is a 24-hour running total here as well. So let's go ahead and go on in towards the weekend. You can see the next system arrive, and it does paint a fairly wet picture here for some places. This around a quarter of an inch, maybe in a 24-hour period for some of western Washington, Oregon, higher amounts across the higher terrain there before that storm system moves through. Now, looking at the European as of last night, it did show 41 miles per hour for Seattle. So who's going to bend the knee this time? Is the European going to go towards what the GFS is showing, or the GFS start to trend towards a stronger system? It didn't so far this morning here. So very low confidence on just how windy we're going to get this weekend. And this is yesterday afternoons. It did show some windy solutions in here as well. So we'll watch it over the next few days. We do have time to kind of watch this play out and see if the GFS and European come to agreement in the next couple of days. This is yesterday afternoon's European run. You could see a pretty windy solution here across some of western Washington, the Oregon and Washington coast, especially with some gusts up over 50 miles per hour, but totally fantasy at this point. Now, looking at the European, this is last night's run, 100-meter wind speed. I want to kind of show you the light winds we are dealing with here and some of the offshore flow as we go through the next few days. So we are now into Thursday, some chilly overnight lows again, then maybe on in through Friday. As you can see, the offshore winds continue and advance to the next system. Then the European kind of brings that punchy storm into the Pacific Northwest as we go through Saturday night into Sunday morning here. But again, we'll watch that as we go. Just fantasy for now. Got to get better model agreement on that. Looking at the 6-hour minimum temperature here, so you can kind of see we do not have much Arctic air at all in the ensembles through the extended right now. This can still change. It was a big flip-flop back and forth between showing some Arctic air off in Fantasyland. It never even was really close to becoming any kind of reality or something we were going to sound the alarm on. You know, it was quite a ways from that. But anyway, we still have a few chilly solutions out here, but we have plenty of time to watch this unfold over the next few days. Here's the GFS, something similar there. Very few extremely cold ensemble members. Actually, none of them are extremely cold, just some chilly overnight lows showing up in there, but we'll watch it here over the next few days. Landslide activity doing okay. CTAC right near the threshold there, and we'll just see if that system trends wetter this weekend. We could be dealing with a little bump in that, but we have a few dry days upcoming here, folks, so this will allow us to settle below this threshold here, so not looking at any landslide activity coming up. 8 to 14 day precipitation. You can kind of see this goes to the end of November to the 27th here, some above average signal, and the 8 to 14 day temperature probability outlook here. This is really not because of Arctic air. You know, there's just some chilly overnight lows and some chilly daytime highs, but it will feel nice out there for those of you that are in the sunshine. Arctic air looks to move off maybe towards the east. But anyway, yeah, so we have a weak system moving through this week, going to bring some light precipitation here, and then we're going to go back to some chilly overnight lows probably into Thursday into Friday, and then we'll be watching the storm system all the way back across the Pacific Ocean here, and we'll see if we can get some model agreement on that. Again, the European kind of showing a bit of a punch with that storm and some windy conditions. But anyway, hope you guys are liking these videos. We're up over 54,000. A lot of good comments on the channel here. I'm sorry I don't get the time to actually respond to all of them, but I do try to read as many of them as possible. So yeah, keep them coming. Hope you guys are liking the videos. We'll do this again tomorrow, and I will talk to you guys then.